right, hockey fans, here we go. Game 3, Washington and Montreal. Come on, Canadians. Do the thing, huh? So close for 2 games in a row. Chance after chance after chance. And just finding new and unique ways to just not quite get a shot on net. Pass gets broken up. Puck goes wide. Puck goes high. Stick break. It's just been incredible for Montreal. They've had a lot of chances. This series could easily be tied 1-1. But here we find ourselves, Montreal, sort of in a must-win. First game in Montreal. First playoff game in Montreal in quite some time. If you don't count the bubble. Where was the bubble? Was that Montreal? Was that Toronto? I forget. It was a weird time. So, I picked Montreal to win this series. And I know when I even said when I picked it, I'm like, I know that's crazy. Now, they've played well enough to win a couple of games here. Sam Montembeault has really impressed me. Can he continue to do that? I keep asking that question, and he continues to impress. But Montreal is going to have to do what they've been doing, plus a little bit more. They've been getting rocked a lot. Washington has just been beating them up all over the ice, but they just keep getting up and skating and skating and skating. But they're going to have to continue to do that and put the puck in the back of the net. I still feel like if they could just get like a quick 1 or 2, like a greasy goal, and then a shot that beats the goalie high up, maybe they could get on a little bit of a roll, get some momentum, that thing that Paul Maurice doesn't believe exists, and win both these games in Montreal. That said, if they don't and they go down 3-0, I would expect Washington to finish them off in the next game. So there's a lot of possible sweeps here happening in the Eastern Conference, right? Carolina hasn't lost. The Panthers haven't lost. Toronto hasn't lost. Washington hasn't lost. Somebody's got to wake up and win a game, right? It's going to happen eventually, right? Come on, Montreal. Do the thing. All right, so we're tied at 1 after 1. Washington gets one early. Montreal gets one late. Logan Thompson is a major pain in the ass. He's really a massive pain in the ass. He's really pissing me off. But I should praise him because usually when I praise the goaltender, they don't do so well. So right here at the end of the period, Montreal apparently takes a penalty slashing on Suzuki because it looks like Logan Thompson got hit in the face with a stick, which he did. Well, we've watched the replay a couple of times, and of course, TNT is not giving us the opportunity to like slow it down and watch it. But myself and others are pretty well convinced that it was actually the Capitals' own player that hit Thompson in the face because he's the one that dropped his stick. So I'd have to watch it in slow motion to actually get a bird's eye view of it, but I'm curious by the time this recap is up, we will all know whether or not that had happened or not. It's just weird how on the broadcast they don't say anything, and then I bet you during the intermission they'll come back and be like, oh, look, it actually wasn't Suzuki's stick. So Montreal's doing the same. I mean, it's the same game. It's been the same game for game 1, game 2, game 3. They're just getting chance after chance after chance. And tonight they are getting more shots. I'll give them credit. And Thompson is just stopping everything. Almost everything. He didn't stop one. So it's 1-1. Montreal's crowd is into it. They keep chanting Logan. I keep waiting to hear if they're going to chant Ovi. But I guess they don't want to. Why piss him off, right? All right. So we want to second period. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's 3-2 Montreal after 2. We just watched almost 5 minutes of just pure on old-time bench brawl, hockey, line fight, whatever you want to call it. Tom Wilson mocking the entire Canadiens team. I love it. I love it. It's 3-2 Montreal. Now, it's not all fun and games for Montreal. About 3/4 of the way through the period, Sam Montembeault went down to make like a normal-looking save. And when he came up, he grabbed his left hamstring. He's off, and Dobish is in. Now, Dobish had good numbers during the season. This is not a Jonas Johansson type of situation. But bringing a guy in right in the middle of like your must-win first home game, playoff game in some time, it's less than optimal, and you hate to see Monty get hurt like that, especially if it's a hamstring. That's not something that's going to heal overnight. So whatever hope Montreal has, at least in this game and probably the next, you're probably going to be looking at Dobish because if Monty's feeling bad enough to get off the ice at this point, probably dinged himself pretty good. But we'll see. Now, Montreal's finally, what I say, they're getting so many, they're out shooting them. It's like 26-15, and they're finally getting the puck in the back of the net. They're getting a couple of bounces. They are just, Washington is beating the crap out of the Canadiens physically. But the Canadiens are just getting up, shooting the middle finger, and skating on. And they're wearing, Washington just can't keep up with all the speed that Montreal has. But Washington has the experience, and Logan Thompson has been outstanding. So this third period is going to be a hell of a third period, because if Montreal can get this, if they can hold this lead, maybe even get another couple goals, put this game away, then at least, I guess it would be Monday, Sunday, Monday. I guess they'd be playing Monday, right? Panthers play Monday, so I don't know. The point is that they could have a chance to tie the series if they win this game. There's a lot of hockey left to be played. The one thing I don't even want to say it. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I hope Monty is okay. Dobish, you be the guy. All right, let's get a couple more goals. And let's finish this up, Montreal. Come on. Well. When you look at what we have here, we have a series. What have I been saying for all these recaps that I've done for this series? As soon as Montreal figured out how to put the puck in the back of the net, they're going to start stacking goals, and now Washington's in trouble. And unfortunately, Washington's really in trouble. Now, both goalies in this game. And you know about Montembeault earlier, pulled that hamstring. Now, on a goal, I believe the goal was Mike Gallagher. I'm not sure. Montreal gets a goal, and Washington's defenseman runs right into Logan Thompson. He was in an awkward position, and when he got up, he was down for a while. When he got up, he could not put pressure, I believe, on the right leg. Could have been the left, but he needed help getting off the ice, and it didn't look good. It didn't look good. When you watch the replay, there's multiple angles where you're like, ugh. So if Logan Thompson, now Charlie Lindgren came in, and obviously Dobish came in for Montreal, each guy gave up a goal. Did Lindgren give up two? No, Lindgren just gave up the one. Dobish just gave up the one. So now you got a situation where it could easily be both backup goaltenders for the rest of the series, but that's going to favor Montreal because Washington has just not been getting all that many chances. Now, Montreal has been playing well, don't get me wrong, but with the way that Washington's been playing well, but the way that Montreal has been getting chance after chance after chance, they have really been, the Capitals have really been depending upon Logan Thompson, especially in the beginning part of this game, until Montreal finally was overwhelming Washington with their speed. Now, what are we going to see here? Because if you watch the recaps of the last first two games, my opinion was that Montreal was just this close. They've been dominating in stretches, and it's been obvious that Washington's theory is to just beat them into submission. But it's not working, and you saw that tonight. Now, Washington won the first two games, but not by a lot. But they're just knocking a Canadian off their feet every chance they can get, and the Canadians just getting up, skating on like nothing happened, and continuing to use their speed. And it's starting to wear Washington a little bit thin. I think they're getting a little bit frustrated because that's the game that they have decided to play. I don't think that they can match the Canadian speed, so they've been depending on Logan Thompson to stop the plethora of chances that the Canadians have been getting. Only now there's no Logan Thompson. And it don't look like he's going to be back for Game 4. If he can't skate on Friday, I'm not sure if you can play goalie on Sunday. So that's going to be a problem. So what Washington can do, I don't know. They got to stay out of the box. They got to start there. They're going to have to work harder as well as they've been playing, and they're going to have to work a little bit smarter. And what I mean is, instead of expending so much energy just trying to beat the crap out of the Canadians, it's not working. They're going to have to play a little bit more of a solid, structured game and maybe even though they can't match Montreal's speed, they're going to have to try something else because knocking them off their skates is just not working. It didn't work in Game 1 and Game 2. Montreal was this close, all right? I mean, you're talking about one goal here or there. It could be 3-0 Montreal right now. So it's not like Washington was beating the crap out of them. Now, if you're Montreal, damn it, right? You finally figured out how to score against this team, against Thompson. You're having success. Got the big home crowd. And then Monty pulls a hamstring. Now, that doesn't necessarily guarantee he's going to be out long term. But a hamstring for a goaltender, I mean, that's got to at least be 2 or 3 games, which is a week. I mean, you got to figure if he had to pull himself out of the game. Now, maybe he just felt some tightness, and it was precautionary. It's possible. He did skate off under his own power and all of that. And maybe they have confidence in Dobich that, hey, no problem. He come in, and Monty wanted to make sure that he didn't actually pull something. But when you watch the replay, Monty reaches back to his hamstring. Maybe it's cramp, right? Maybe it's a cramp. Maybe he can get that stretched out. So maybe he can come back for the next game. We'll see. Now, the only other thing I'll say is, did I hear this correctly? I don't want to be accusatory. And I'm old, so sometimes my hearing and what's going on the ice, I'm not exactly. But did I hear the Canadiens fans boo Logan Thompson as he was struggling to get off the ice, and then he needed to get assistance because he just couldn't put enough pressure on both legs? Were they booing him going off the ice? Now, I'm rooting for Montreal because I'm enjoying watching a good young team, what's the word? Blossom? That's not quite the word. But I'm enjoying watching their brand of hockey. I think the next great team in the Eastern Conference is, once my Panthers are done being champs, whenever that is, could be Montreal if they can keep it together and Monty continues to play well or one of their goalies develops. But if you're in the stands in Montreal, if you were actually booing Logan Thompson being injured, you're a scumbag. And you can quote me on that. If you were actually booing the other team's injured goaltender who couldn't put any weight on his leg, you are a scumbag. I don't care what the situation is. Now, maybe that's not what happened. Maybe they were booing. Maybe, it was something else having to do with Wilson and Anderson because there was a lot of roughhousing going on. But it got pretty loud. It got pretty loud when Thompson was trying to get off, and then it looked like he couldn't put weight on it. So somebody came and helped him up, and the crowd was pretty damn loud, and it sure as hell sounded like boos. But you all can correct me if I misheard that, because it sounded like boos to us, and the chat kind of thought it sounded like boos. But damn, what kind of people are going to boo somebody like that in a sporting event? That's not okay. That's not okay. It almost makes me not want to root for them, but I put them in my bracket as the winners, so I'm still going to root for them. All right. That's going to do it for tonight. We will be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock with the Panthers. Then we're going to watch Toronto finish off Ottawa in the evening. And then if we are still alive, we will try to do Stars and Avs after Toronto beats up Ottawa and finishes that series off, because Ottawa had their chance. They had their chance. You get it tied late, you get it overtime, and Omar just... I'm sure there's nobody in Ottawa in that locker room that holds a whole lot of confidence in Omar come late in the third period of an important game at this point. I don't know what they do next year, but he's not the playoff dude, that's for sure. Boston picked the right goalie. All right. Thank you all for coming out to the streams. Appreciate all the support. I will see you tomorrow at 1.